You're listening to the Emotional Abuse Recovery Podcast, episode number 26. So today I want to talk about the smear campaign. And if you have been a person who has been emotionally abused or in a relationship with a narcissist or a highly toxic person, you've experienced what it's like to go through the smear campaign. And what that is when the narcissist rallies up the troops, get all of the people, the friends, the family members, the coworkers, anyone you know, on their side and starts saying horrible things about you. And what happens is we end up worrying about what everyone else is thinking. So today I'm going to go over the smear campaign. I'm going to talk a little bit about what you can do, how to stop worrying about what they think so that you can take back control of your life. So if this sounds like something that would help you, stay tuned because this episode is for you. Welcome to the Emotional Abuse Recovery Podcast, a podcast specifically designed to help you heal after a toxic or narcissistic relationship. This podcast teaches you to use your subconscious mind to go from feeling stuck to set free. In here, you will learn how to use the power of your own mind to free yourself from emotional pain, move forward with confidence, and experience the inner peace you deserve in your healing journey after emotional abuse. I'm your host and subconscious reprogramming coach, Allison Dagny. So let's get started. Okay, so we're talking about the smear campaign today. And I want you to first start thinking about three things. Number one is to realize that you are the only one in control of what goes on inside of you. It might seem like other people are in control of that. It might seem like that other people are affecting it, but really and truly, the only person who has control of what goes on inside of you is you. Number two is recognize that even if you could or do tell all those other people who are believing the negative things the narcissist is spreading about you, even if you could explain your version of events to them, it doesn't mean they would believe you or change their mind. And number three is your value, your worth, your character, all of those things are not determined by other people's opinions of you. Okay, so I want to explain what the smear campaign is for those people who may not know. It's basically what happens when you leave a toxic relationship and the other person goes on a campaign to smear your name and your reputation to everyone that you know and everyone you don't know. And it can be extremely difficult to deal with because people are attacking your character. And some people are believing the lies, and that really, really hurts. I really love what one of my group members in my Facebook group had said about this. And she said, "We hide the abuse to protect our kids. We believe that sacrificing ourselves for their well-being is the heroic thing to do. And then no one believes us, and it inadvertently compromises our credibility." And this is absolutely true what she said. Because we keep the abuse a secret to protect ourselves, to protect our kids, and then it comes back to bite us later on because no one actually believes it to be true. They might say things, why didn't you file a police report? Why didn't you say something sooner, right? We've all heard this. This is all victim blaming, and people speaking who are not experienced or trauma informed say things like this. Does it excuse it? No, but it is the reality. But the one thing I want to mention is that this is a necessary survival tactic for many victims, and we couldn't know or predict the future on how this might affect us later on by hiding the abuse or toxicity. We are literally just living in the moment trying to survive. So now we end up in a position where we have to figure out how to deal with it after the fact, and that's the smear campaign. And this is why I'm here to talk about this. We have to stop the need for other people to understand us. And I have said this before on some of my social media posts. It's okay to be misunderstood. It's okay for people not to understand where you're coming from or your point of view or your perspectives. It's okay. There's a quote by Regina Brett that says, "What other people think about you is none of your business." And she is so right. What I think about me is my business. That is my business. And if I'm not in my business, whose business am I in? I'm in other people's business. What they're thinking about me is not my business. When you're focused on what they think, you cannot focus on what you think. What if they think bad things or believe the lies about you? What does that mean? Are you attempting to predict the future? Am I making up stories in my head about what I think is happening without any proof or any evidence? Am I afraid they will judge me and they won't like me? When I should be thinking about if I actually like them, and the same for everyone else. Are you afraid they will judge you? Are you afraid they won't like you? Are you afraid they'll think that you're a bad person or that you're mean? When really you should be thinking about the things that are true about you. So here's what you can do, and I'm just going to get right to it. When you feel that discomfort about people making judgments against you or believing the lies that other people are spreading about you, you have to take action. So if you have a piece of paper and a pen, I have some things I want to share with you, so take some notes. Number 1 is breathe. Bring oxygen back to the prefrontal cortex. It's the part of your brain that processes logical thinking. This gets you out of emotion and into logic. We can think so much clearer. We can have so many more ideas and suggestions and thoughts when we aren't clouded by emotion. So use the breath to your advantage. Number 2, identify your emotions. This is so important. A lot of people just feel emotions and they don't actually identify them. So you're feeling something. Is it in your gut? Is it in your stomach? Is it in your neck? Is it in your hands and your face feel flushed, or your throat? What is the emotion you're feeling? Fear, anxiety, anger, frustration, guilt, regret. What is it? Like, try to really figure out what it is. Emotions are just little alarms that come up to let us know that something that we're thinking is disagreeing with reality. So then that brings me to number 3, which is think about the thoughts. When you feel the emotion, then you can figure out what the thoughts are that are creating that. Are you thinking things like, they shouldn't believe his lies, I'm being judged unfairly, they should know the truth, right? And put these on paper, write them down so you don't forget, because we think 60 to 70,000 thoughts every single day. And it's hard to just pick them all out. So sit down and write them out so that you do remember what the thoughts are that are creating those negative emotions. Number 4 is start to ask questions. And you've heard me say this before if you've listened to any of these other episodes here. What else is possible? This question is so important. Make this your go-to phrase. Put this on a Post-it note in your mirror, in the bathroom, on the dashboard of your car, at your office, by your desk, wherever you will see it. What else is possible? Start training your mind to think this way. This isn't affirmations, right? I'm not asking you to just start saying, I am worthy, I am good enough, I am beautiful. I'm not asking you to create affirmations, because affirmations only work in the conscious part of our brain, which operates only 5%. The subconscious is the realm that you need to discover and uncover what's going on in there, because that is the 95% driver of how we feel and how we behave. So what you're doing here is you're taking your autopilot thinking off of autopilot. If those beliefs just keep running on autopilot over and over again, we're actually stepping in and saying, okay, we're actually going to take control here, not autopilot. You're taking control. You're getting in the driver's seat. And I'm telling you, if you think you're in control, but you're experiencing all kinds of unwanted emotions, you are not in control. Your subconscious mind is the driver. Now, the really important part about this is we can reprogram the subconscious mind. So what happens is, what has always been on autopilot, we can change. We're literally going into like that computer system of the GPS, and we're saying, okay, we're going to program us to go a different direction. And that's what we do. And this is actually really, really helpful to get you out of those negative emotions. So when someone is smearing you, when you hear about the things that people are saying and that people are doing out publicly about you, instead of automatically believing things like, they are talking bad about me, or they're hurting me, or any of the type of things that would run on autopilot in your mind to cause you to feel upset, angry, hurt, or whatever those emotions are. We're just asking what else is possible. We're shifting it a little bit to help you not feel those deep, hurtful emotions when other people go on being who they are, when other people go on gossiping and spreading lies and saying things about you that just aren't true. So the reason it's on autopilot is because you've done this so many times that your brain says, this must be important, so I need to make this automatic. It's like riding a bike. Once it becomes learned, it becomes automatic. And once a habit is formed, even in your brain, it becomes autopilot. Your brain is trying to make life easier for you, but unfortunately, it doesn't know this is actually hurting you. You've told your mind over and over that this is important, so it believes you. It believes whatever you tell it. And remember, all our emotions come from our subconscious thoughts. So if you want to change how you feel, you have to reach the subconscious mind to release those thoughts to change those emotions. If you have a lot of anxiety and worry about this, then it will inevitably impact how you're feeling and how you act and how you behave in the future. You might, let's say, avoid going out or social situations where you could possibly run into people. You might refuse to go watch your kids play at their sporting events because there are people who you believe will be judging you. You could be missing out on a lot of things in your life if you operate this way. So if the goal is not to feel this way and to stop worrying about what they think, then I would want you to consider a few more things, because you might not want that for yourself. But if you say, yes, I want to stop worrying about what other people think. I want to be able to go live my life without these emotions clouding my enjoyment of the present moment, then here's what you need to consider. We have to be okay with not knowing the truth. Not knowing what is going on in other people's minds about us is something we can't ever know. That's the reality. We can't actually know what goes on in other people's minds. Even if they tell you, maybe they're not telling the truth. We actually can't know. So stop, and when you catch yourself saying things like, I wonder, or what if only, or maybe this, or maybe that, those are indications that something's going on in your subconscious mind. Try to compartmentalize and shift this by caring about what people who you love and who love you think, but putting everything else aside, right? Because a lot of times the people that are involved in the smear campaign aren't people that we actually truly care about their opinions, because they're not a part of our life, or maybe they used to be a part of our life and they no longer are. But the people who we really love and who we really care about, who trust us, who we trust, who support us, those are the people. If you can shift it to, you know what, I care about what my significant other thinks about me, and I care about what my children think about me, and I care about what my parents think about me, but put all else aside, right? Because all those random people, all the people that were from your past that took the side of the narcissist, do those people's opinions really matter? Everything that shows up in your life, even the smear campaign, gives you an opportunity to show up differently in your life. Do you want to be the person that is affected by what other people think, or do you want to be the person who is completely indifferent? And I love the term indifferent, because for me, I didn't want to be, experiencing these extreme anger feelings, or feeling depressed or sad, or I just wanted to be indifferent. And so I love using that word, because to me it's very simple, and it describes how we can actually not be so affected one way or the other. And I need to clarify this, that there is a difference between what you want and what is your reality, because you can want it so badly, but if you're not changing anything that's going on in your internal world inside of you, then you're not going to change how you feel. You're not going to be able to experience that indifference. Everything will just continue on as it always was. So a question that I ask my clients early on in our coaching program is, what do you see as that future version of yourself? What would you describe your life to look like if you could paint a picture of it in the future? if you're not changing anything in the present moment, you will not be able to get to that vision. So everything will just continue as it always was. So you can want it and you can hope for it, but if you're not making any changes inside of yourself, that's not going to change how you feel nor how you show up in the future. So here's another thing to keep in mind. There can be a deeper meaning behind the smear campaign, okay? They might resent you because you are free. And if that is the case, they want you to be triggered. They want you cowering and hiding. They want you to not come to events and not show up. It gives the appearance that you were wrong, and it helps to bolster their arguments about you. If you show up, you can stand tall. You can meet their questions or comments with, oh yeah, I'm sure he would say that about me, or yeah, that's the narrative he wants everyone to believe, right? I'm not saying you have to go do things you don't want to do. I'm just saying there could be a deeper meaning behind the smear campaign because other people resent the fact that you are no longer a slave to this narcissist anymore. So the other thing I wanted to talk about is part of this is that when you're triggered, right? When you're looking sad, when you're looking angry, when you're replying to texts and social media attacks, these are things where you end up playing the part that they designed for you. It's them, the narcissist, the flying monkeys, the people that are participating in the smear campaign, it's them still maintaining control over you, which is exactly what they want. And if you know anything about narcissists, their goal is to get supply from you. So if you are triggered, if you are looking sad, if you are not showing up places, I'm not saying you have to do that, right? It just depends on what you want and how you want to live your life. But remember, they're going to do what they want to do to try to get supply in any way they can. So by now you're probably thinking, well, what do I do about it? And here's what you can do. Start writing down all the things that you think, that they think about you. Do you believe that they think that you're crazy and that you're stupid and that you're a gold digger or you must be a narcissist? What is it that you believe that they believe about you? And even if they have voiced these things to you, or even if you read them on social media, or even if you read them in a 10-page document to your lawyer like I did, where the narcissist ex-family just wrote all of the judgments about me and all of the things they think about me, just because they believe it doesn't make it true. And then what you do is you write down the exact opposite of what those things are. I am the narcissist turns to I am not the narcissist. I am crazy turns to I am not crazy. I am a gold digger turns to I am not a gold digger. It's the exact opposite. And then what you do is you show your subconscious mind these proofs and examples of why those things are not true. Now, I want you to understand that your subconscious mind does not comprehend simple words, plain old words. If you tell your subconscious mind, I am not a narcissist, it does not understand that. It's like speaking a foreign language to your subconscious. But if you tell your subconscious mind some stories and examples to show your subconscious mind, like a movie of the experiences that you had, that you are not those things, then what happens is the change starts to begin inside of you because your subconscious mind understands what you're telling it. So when other people believe things about you, it doesn't affect you because you're no longer doubting yourself. So here's an example of what I mean. If you were to believe that other people believe you're the narcissist, and then you flip that around to I am not the narcissist, what you want to do here is show your mind some specific examples that give evidence of why you are not the narcissist. You might say something like, I have really strong empathy because when my neighbor's daughter got really sick, I went over there and I helped them and I brought them soup and I felt so bad for what they were going through. Like, you're showing your mind those details and examples because we all know narcissists don't have that kind of empathy. And that proves to your mind, well, yeah, duh, I'm not a narcissist because here are the things that I have and that I have done specifically. You wouldn't just say, I have empathy. You have to show your mind specifically in what ways that you have exhibited and proved that you have that empathy. Okay, so there was another piece to this, and you can take this even deeper, and this is the kind of work I do with my clients. What else are you believing and internalizing? If these people believe the smear campaign about you, do you believe that you need to prove yourself? Do you believe you need to clear the air? Do you believe that these people shouldn't believe the lies that the narcissist has been spreading about you? Here is how you do the deeper healing practices. And write this down if you have your paper and pen. Start asking yourself what else is possible. Is it possible that I don't need to prove myself? Is it possible that I don't need to clear the air? Is it possible that these people could be believing the lies of the narcissist that they were spreading about me? Because the narcissist is such a skilled manipulator and has been lying to these people since day one. So you see, we can't control what other people say about us. We all know that. We cannot control what other people believe about us. We cannot control what they do. We can only control how we process it inside of ourselves. So when we are affected by other people's opinions of us, when we are impacted internally by the words that other people say about us and the things that they believe about us, then they have the control over us. But we can take back the control when we decide that this is no longer an option for us. And I remember feeling this exact same way years ago when I was in the middle of a smear campaign, and I remember my boyfriend said to me, just say it out loud. Say, I don't give a, insert your favorite choice word, you know what. I'm not going to curse on here, but you can fill in the blank. It felt like I was frozen. I could not let those words come out of my mouth. This was so unbelievably uncomfortable for me, but I knew I had to take a little step out of my comfort zone. It was just like if someone had their hand over my mouth. I couldn't let those words, I don't give a you know what, come out of my mouth. It was the weirdest feeling because I just couldn't say it, but I knew I had to take a little step out of my comfort zone. Action can give us so much clarity. I could not even speak these words out loud. I couldn't say them out loud because I didn't believe them. Now, what I did was I actually did say it, but it sort of came out as a whisper at first. It was like my body wouldn't let me say it because I just didn't believe it. But my boyfriend kept encouraging me to say it louder and with more conviction. And it truly did help me a little bit to move me in a different mindset. Now, it didn't shift completely, and I'm going to explain why. The reason why is because I did care what other people thought about me. I lived my life worrying about what other people's opinion of me was. I felt like I was getting my value and my worth based on what other people thought about me. But then I realized that my worth comes from my Creator and that my value comes from within me and not what other people think I should do or think I should say or think how I should be or how they think I should be. If I lived my life based on what other people thought I should do, I would be literally, and so would you, torn in a million different directions. So one major piece of not actually caring about what other people think. Now remember, I'm not talking about people who you love and care about. I'm talking about people who aren't really in your life anymore, those people who are part of the smear campaign and gossiping. The people who are talking bad about you, the people who are gossiping and spreading these lies. But one major piece about not caring about what these people think about you is tapping into your own self-worth and knowing who you are. Do you think that a really confident and secure person who knows who they are would be internally affected by someone telling them that they're stupid or that they're a bad mom or a gold digger or a narcissist? No. If you are secure in your intelligence and secure in your parenting ability and secure in who you really are, you don't believe what other people say about you. You know the truth inside. And that is how you shift this and change it. It's by deepening your self-worth and acknowledging that you have value that no one else can take away. So now I can actually say that phrase out loud. I don't give a you know what. And I don't say this to be uncaring or thoughtless. I say it as a reminder to myself that other people's opinions of me do not define my self-worth. I do that. Think about it like this. How much time do you spend thinking about other people and your judgment of them? Like really sitting down, how much time are you thinking about your neighbors and your coworkers and your friends and your family members and your children if you're like me and you really are honest about it, you probably don't have a lot of time and mental space to be thinking about all the things that other people are doing and all the things that other people are saying to judge them. There's room for it all because we all have judgments. That's part of being human. But isn't it just as possible that maybe some of the people don't believe the lies that have been spread about you? And isn't it just as possible that some of these people might not even care about what the other person is saying about you? Isn't it just as possible that what other people think about you really has nothing to do with you at all? And that is just a reflection of their own insecurities. Just think, as I said before, what else is possible? Just possible. Not fact, not truth, not reality, just possible. Okay, and as a final note, I just want to say that I don't want to control what other people think about me. I know that I can't control this, right? I actually don't even want to influence what other people think because I want them to have their own thoughts. I want them to, come up from their own brains, have their own opinions. I just show up as me. Everyone is going to have their opinions and their judgments, but I can't base how I operate in my life on what other people think about me. I want to allow people to discern their own perceptions and allow them to hear things about me and decide if they want to believe those things about me or not, instead of me trying to impart my truths upon them. And there's something very freeing about this and very empowering to just let it go. Okay, so I hope this has been helpful to you when dealing with the smear campaign, because ultimately, as I said, we can't cause other people to change their beliefs, or we can't control how other people are going to show up or what they're going to believe. We, of course, can influence it based on how we show up. Yet, if we want to feel that peace inside of ourselves, when other people go on being themselves, when other people show up in ways that they always will, if we want that peace inside of us, then we have to get inside of us and figure out what it is that is causing us to feel bad. And that is getting into your subconscious mind, working with the subconscious thoughts and releasing the things, questioning those things to help ourselves to heal. I work with clients one-on-one to help with this very thing, and I had to help myself with it too. So if you want more support and to work with me on a deeper level, just send me a DM over on Facebook or on Instagram, and I'd be happy to help. Thank you for being here with me today in the Emotional Abuse Recovery Podcast. I hope you found value here with me. If this podcast episode was helpful to you, I'd love for you to hit subscribe and leave me a review. My goal is to help you go from feeling stuck to set free. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook, and you can check out whentearsleavescars.com for more resources and information to help you with your own emotional abuse recovery. Until next time, here's to believing in